I have two tools from IWISS here. I want to start off with this manual copper swedging tool. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, when it comes to swedging tools as a professional, my first choice would be a hydraulic one, but those are like $400 or $500. Now, I have used all the other ones. I've used the ones that go on your drill. I've used the ones you hammer. And my second choice would actually be a manual one like this. And the reason why is because the whole point behind swedging copper is not to save fittings. It's to reduce the number of joints you have to either braze or solder. When you have a swedge joint, you're only brazing or soldering one joint. When you have a fitting, it's two. So if you're going to be brazing and soldering for the next 30 years and you want to reduce the number of potential leaks in your systems by 50%, having a swedging tool on your truck is a very smart thing to do, in my opinion. Now, this particular tool from IWISS does have a couple of features I don't normally see on manual swagers like this, and we'll cover them as we go. But one of the first things you will notice is that this thing has long handles. And the reason why is because those long handles give you leverage. When you're doing something manually and you need leverage, that's always a good tool to have. Now, these swagers, they have a cone on them, and so when you open it up, it pulls the cone in, and when you close it, it pushes the cone out. Now, there's a head that goes on this cone that screws right on that actually does the swaging part. This kit has 3 different heads on them, and this is one of the features of this particular kit here is that in most kits, you're just going to have one head per size, but with these, you can actually do multiple sizes with one head. So this covers everything from 3/8 up to 1¼ inch. Now, I don't often swage 1¼ inch copper, but I have been in situations on call, emergency call on the weekend. You might have a leak on a boiler with 1⅛" pipe. You don't have any mega press or pro press fittings. Always having the option on the truck of swaging something, even though it's rare, it's good to have that choice. This kit comes with a copper cutter. It comes with a deburring tool. And on the inside here, there's an extra blade so that when this gets dull, you always have a second one. Now, to use this tool, you have to open it all the way up and pull the cone in. You pick whatever size you're going to swage. We're going to do 7/8 copper, and I'm going to go ahead and screw that on. Now, when you're cutting copper at a point, you're going to be swaging. What I see a lot of people do is they really crank down on these cutters. And they force the cut, and what that does is it takes the edge of the copper where you're cutting it and it curls in that edge, and you don't want to do that because eventually you have to get this copper onto the head, and if you curl it in too much, it's going to be hard to do. Now, one of the benefits of a lot of tools like this is that there's going to be a small lip on each size that's just a little bit smaller than the size itself, and that's what that lip is for. When that edge curls in, you put the copper right over that and you squeeze the tool down a little bit to kind of push it back out. You don't have to go all the way with it. Retract it back in, and you can see it slides right in. Now, one of the pretty cool features of this particular manual swaging tool that I haven't seen in a lot of other ones is when you squeeze the handle down, you could see how it extracts out there and pushes out the copper. But when you lift it back up again, you can see that it rotates. All right, so every time I do that, it rotates. Now, this is to get nice even swage all the way around. You don't want to do this in one squeeze when you're using these kinds of tools. Now, in a lot of other ones, you have to manually turn the copper a little bit and then do it again, but this one kind of automatically does it for you, so that's a little nice. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to go all the way down in one squeeze. You kind of want to go down maybe 20% or so. You want to bring it back, let the head rotate, then you want to bring it down about halfway, bring it back again, let it rotate, and then you go all the way closed with it. Copper fits in there nice and snug. There's no wiggle space. There's no gaps in there. And this is exactly what you want when the whole goal of doing everything is to minimize the number of leaks in your system. Less joints, tighter fitting, less leaks. The next tool I have here is a ratcheting tool for putting connectors onto wire. And usually when I'm out there diagnosing electrical problems, you'll run into a lot of situations where you have rusty and corroded connections. It's causing a lot of resistance in a circuit and it causes problems. So you do have to put new ones on every now and then. So this ratcheting tool is pretty straightforward. You just squeeze it to release it. You go ahead, you put whatever connector you want on your wire there, and it's color coded. You have red, blue, yellow. So you can see on a tool here, we have little colors, red, blue, yellow for the different sizes. Go ahead, you put your connector in the slot, and you just go ahead and squeeze all the way down till it clicks. You release it. Now you have a nice tight connection there.